Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate emphasizes on the right for countries to peacefully and securely use nuclear energy in its speech in the United Nations. The Sultanate participates in the Expo Milano 2015 under the theme Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life. And warplanes from a Saudi-led coalition struck a residential district of the Yemeni capital Sana'a, killing 8 to 10 civilians.
Sultanate of Oman Pavilion in Milano Expo 2015 from the 1st of May to the end of October 2015.
Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. The Sultanate emphasizes on the right of countries' peaceful and secure usage of nuclear energy in its speech in the United Nations. This came in the Sultanate's speech before the 2015 review conference of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons Treaty. The speech was delivered by Mohammed bin Ahmed al-Shanfari, Deputy Permanent Envoy of the Sultanate at the United Nations. The Sultanate called on strengthening the treaty by the joining of all countries to it, as well as to take serious steps to dispose of nuclear weapons, according to a specified agenda and under an active international monitoring. The Sultanate considered that the treaty is still facing challenges to implement its principles and reach its goals. The international exhibition Milano Expo 2015 commenced in the Italian city of Milan with various activities concerning agriculture and food. The Sultanate is taking part in this event along with 148 countries, with its special pavilion consisting of a humanitarian exhibition entitled Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life, seeking to combat hunger and lack of food due to catastrophes and wars. The exhibition that lasts until the 31st of October showcases the importance of the Sultanate's role in achieving food security besides world countries and supporting international initiatives to combat hunger and lack of food caused by wars and natural catastrophes. The Sultanate's pavilion shows development and humanitarian accomplishments made by the Sultanate, as well as future aspirations and plans of its government and private institutions in the field of food and security, with its different aspects, in addition to introducing the Sultanate as an important touristic destination. The activities of Message of Islam from Oman exhibition started in Tirana, capital of Albania. It was organized by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs in cooperation with the Committee of Religious Affairs at the Presidential Office of Albania. It aimed to spread values of understanding, dialogue and coexistence among world nations. It included a number of sections on the Sultanate's history and culture, in addition to various portraits and manuscripts that reflect the Omani heritage and environment. The exhibition also included fine arts and calligraphy by Omani artists. Public awareness of the importance of organ donation is conducted. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai.
Organ donation awareness. What is organ donation and what organ can come from the donors? And how does this process work? Organ donation happens when a person gives either a kidney or liver or other part of organ to help someone be treated. This was part of the Awareness Day activities, which aims at educating members of the community that the donation process of organs is possible and with least harm to the donor and the highest benefit to the recipient. The function also organized to honor the organ donors who donated their organs for children who were desperately in need and are on their fullest health after donation process. Her Highness Dr. Muna Al Saeed said,
I would like to thank all the organizers today for their great efforts in making this event such a success. It has brought awareness about kidney and liver transplant in the Sultanate. We've seen the numbers, we've seen the cases. It was amazing to meet with the donors, and it's a happy feeling to see what they have offered these young children. And I'm very happy to see that there are a lot of possibilities, there are a lot of services now available in the Sultanate. We would like to see, of course, much more.
Her Highness Dr. Khawla Al Saeed, senior consultant at Royal Hospital, in her speech said that the disease is a test for humans, young or old, men or women, and that failure of any organ of the human body to work for whatever reason is one of the most painful, not only for the person himself, but to include the pain of all members of society. And the failure of organs such as the liver and kidneys is increasing, and the best methods of treatment at all is transplantation of a new organ. Her Highness Dr. Muna Al Saeed said,
I would encourage anybody who's able to donate, and there are cases that not to be hesitant and to go ahead and do this. Yeah.
The Awareness Day program included expressive and impressive speeches from the organ donors who endowed part of their organs to their families and beloved ones to enable them to live normally. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Still to come in our news bulletin. 21 schools in the Governorate of Al Braymi took part in the Times examination for international studies. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Warplanes from a Saudi-led coalition struck a residential district of the Yemeni capital, Sana'a, overnight, killing 8 to 10 civilians. The Sabah state news agency, controlled by the Houthi movement in charge of Sana'a, put the death toll in the Sawan district at 20 and said more than 50 people had been wounded. It said casualties included women and children. Warplanes also struck a military airbase near the capital. Sabah said medics rushed to Sawan to try to rescue residents trapped under the rubble of homes. The strikes came days after jets bombed the runway to stop an Iranian aid plane landing. Damage to the airport has stopped aid deliveries. Yesterday, dozens of Houthi fighters were killed in clashes with Saudi forces on Yemen's northern border. Meanwhile, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon warned that dire fuel shortages in Yemen were threatening to bring all relief operations to a halt within days and said deliveries must resume immediately. Syria's army launched an offensive today against rebel groups in a bid to strengthen its control in the northwest Latakia province. After a series of losses in neighbouring Idlib province, the army is fortifying its positions to preempt potential rebel attacks on Latakia. Regime forces attacked rebel positions overnight from yesterday until today in the northeast of Latakia province, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said. The Britain-based monitoring group said 7 opposition fighters and 10 pro-government forces were killed. Syrian Observatory head said that the battles are taking place around the Nabiyun's hilltop, a strategic position 1,500 meters above sea level on the edge of Idlib and Hama provinces. Nepal rushed to cremate the earthquake dead today as the death toll climbed to about 6,200. At the Pashupatinath temple, bodies of victims were brought by truck and unloaded onto funeral pyres as family members watched from a distance. Disposal of the hundreds of bodies still being found 6 days after the 7.9 magnitude quake that devastated the Himalayan nation of 28 million people was becoming a problem for officials who have ordered immediate cremations. Morgues are full beyond capacity. A boy and a woman were pulled from the rubble where they had been trapped for 5 days. The United Nations has said 8 million people had been affected, with at least 2 million in need of tents, water, food and medicines over the next 3 months. The death toll rose steadily past 6,200 today as fresh aftershocks and the stench of rotting bodies made it hard for nervous survivors to return to their homes. A wave of bombings struck the Iraqi capital Baghdad after last night, killing a total of 21 people and wounding scores of others. One of the car bombs exploded near a number of restaurants and shops in Baghdad's eastern district of Talibiyah, killing 2 people and wounding 10 others. The deadliest of the attacks hit the western district of Mansour, killing 5 people and wounding 12 there, as security officials said. Another car bomb near a shop killed 4 people and wounded 14 in northern Baghdad. Police said 2 separate car bombs killed a total of 7 people and wounded 18 in eastern Baghdad. In Madain town, just south of Baghdad, a bomb blast near a cafe killed 3 people and wounded 11. 21 schools in the governorate of Al Braymi, particularly the 4th and 8th grades, took part in the Times examination for international studies in the subjects of science and mathematics in its current edition. Extensive preparations were made by the Directorate of Education in the governorate before the examination in order to achieve targeted results. Activities of the 5-day COMEX 2015 concluded with the participation of 34 government institutions and 145 private sector bodies. The exhibition witnessed a huge attendance and citizens and residents of different age categories. The number of visitors reached more than 57,000. The exhibition also included a number of work sessions, the launching of 6 projects and signing for vital agreements. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with cloud accumulation over Hajar Mountains with chances of rain and fog over parts of the governorates of South Sharqiya and Worcester. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate along the coasts of Sea of Oman, while it will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coast will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.25 metres. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate emphasises on the right for countries to peacefully and securely use nuclear energy in its speech in the United Nations. The Sultanate participates in the Expo Milano 2015 under the theme Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life. Unmanned warplanes from a Saudi-led coalition struck a residential district of the Yemeni capital Sana'a, killing 8 to 10 civilians. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.